Have you ever asked yourself, can women ever be loyal? A question that seems simple, yet has kept many men awake at night, because deep down, you already know the answer, but you still don't want to believe it. Every man wants to believe that she'll stay, that love can overcome instinct, but reality always slaps us in the face. When she says, "I'll never change," a few months later, the hand she's holding is no longer yours, and you start to wonder, is it my fault? Or is it just their nature, brother? I understand that feeling, the feeling of being betrayed not only by her but by your own belief. But the truth is, women aren't loyal to anyone. Not to you, not to me, not to anyone. They're only loyal to their emotions and their own interests. It may sound cruel, but that realization will set you free from illusion. You know, what hurts most men isn't the betrayal itself, it's realizing they believed in something that never truly existed. In the previous part, I told you that women are only loyal to themselves. Now let's go a little deeper, to understand why so many men still believe in that illusion called eternal loyalty. We grew up in a world that told us if you're a good man, if you love, care, and respect her, she'll stay forever. They taught us that a real man is the one who loves wholeheartedly, that a woman will always cherish the man who never hurts her. It sounds beautiful. It sounds right. But that's just a story for those who've never been tested by reality. The men who believe in absolute female loyalty are the ones who've never watched it shatter before their eyes. They've never seen the eyes of a girl who once said she loved them. Now look at another man without hesitation. And why do they believe so easily? Because they lack experience. Because they were raised in a culture that says everyone is the same, that men and women are identical in emotions, in love, in loyalty. But the truth is, we are different at the roots. Men love through commitment through choice. Women love through emotion through circumstances, through what they feel in the present moment. And the most dangerous thing is, society makes men feel guilty for realizing this. When you begin to see the truth, they tell you you've lost faith, that you're toxic, that you hate women. But no, brother, that's not hatred, that's awareness. You no longer believe in a pink dream, you're simply seeing things for what they are. There's a group of men who think, if I treat her better, she'll change. They believe that by giving more, they can make her loyal. They turn kindness into a tool to buy safety, but loyalty cannot be bought. The more you try to prove yourself worthy, the more you lose the very thing that made her respect you in the first place, your self-control and inner strength. Weak men believe in female loyalty because they've never been tested and never lost everything. And that lack of experience makes them fall for the blue pill illusion that if you love her enough, she'll stay. The truth is the opposite. The harder you try to hold on, the faster you lose her. And one day, when she leaves without a reason, you'll realize she was never loyal. She only stayed until her emotions told her, it's time to go. The man who believed that promise will break down, but the awakened man will stand up, give a bitter smile, and say, now I understand. Because, as I've said before, only those who've never been tested by a woman's loyalty still believe it exists. You see, the illusion of loyalty only exists when a man has never looked directly at the nature of the game. Once you start waking up, everything that used to confuse you suddenly becomes crystal clear. You'll look back at the times she changed, the glances, the vague excuses, the justifications, and you'll realize none of it was an exception. It was instinct. And this is where the real red pill begins to take effect when you understand that women are not loyal to men. They are loyal to the value a man provides. It sounds harsh, but it's the rawest truth of nature. When you are strong, driven, and know how to lead, she'll see you as the center of her world, but the moment you grow lazy, lose focus, and lose your masculine energy, she'll begin to grow cold, distant, and eventually start looking around. You may think she's changing because of emotions, but in truth, she's simply reacting to the survival instinct programmed deep within her genes. Women don't seek eternal love. They seek security and excitement. If you can't provide those two things anymore, her instincts will force her to swing elsewhere to wherever she feels safer, guided, and emotionally stimulated. That phenomenon is called monkey branching, like a monkey swinging from one branch to another, never letting go of the old branch until she has a firm grip on the new one. She won't leave as long as she's still receiving benefits, but the moment she senses your value dropping, she's already preparing the next branch to grab onto. It might be that nice guy friend always hanging around, a co-worker she flirts with, or even just the constant stream of digital attention from strangers online. She doesn't have to cheat physically. Once, in her mind, you're no longer the leader. Loyalty has already died long before she walks away. That's hypergamy, the evolutionary instinct that drives women to always seek the better, stronger, more desirable man. It's not evil, it's nature. Just as water always flows downhill, women always flow toward higher value. If you've ever wondered why she still checks her ex's stories, why she still follows attractive guys, why she says "I'm just curious," that's hypergamy. Not because she wants to betray you, but because her instinct is constantly scanning the environment for a bigger, better deal. And you must understand it's not deliberate betrayal, it's a survival mechanism. But the problem is, if you don't understand this game, it will destroy you. When you stop evolving, when you lose the fire that once made her admire you, she begins comparing you to others. He used to be strong, now he's weak. He used to make me feel protected, now he only drains me. Bit by bit, she withdraws her respect. And once a woman no longer respects you, love, loyalty, or any promise means nothing. She doesn't need to cheat openly, she just stops investing emotionally. From that moment on, she's already gone even if her body is still there. It may sting, it may feel unfair, but brother, the truth is she doesn't owe you loyalty. Nature didn't program that into her. She only responds to value, to strength, to the emotions you generate. Once you understand this, you'll stop blaming, stop asking why did she change. You'll simply smile, nod, and say, her instincts are working. So don't ask. Why isn't she loyal? Ask. When did I stop growing? Ask. Am I still the man she once admired? And when you understand that, your whole perspective changes. You'll stop resenting women and start learning how to lead the game exactly as an awakened man should. You know, once you've seen the nature of hypergamy, you'll start to understand all those stories that used to make no sense, stories where good men get left behind and reckless men are loved passionately. Let me tell you a true story, one that, back in 2007, completely changed the way I saw women, love, and what we call loyalty. Back then, I had a friend, a man of principle, kind, composed. He loved a woman deeply, the kind of love you could see in his eyes. She loved him too, at least at first. They went through peaceful days together, no drama, no fights, just trust and calm. But then one day, their world began to crack, not because he betrayed her, but because of whispers. Her friends began planting ideas in her head that he was hiding something, a man that good must be up to something. One of her closest friends, who was stuck in a miserable relationship herself, was the loudest voice of all. Then came her aunt, a divorced woman, bitter toward men who told her, "Don't let him control you. You deserve more than that." And she listened. She believed those women understood her better than the man who stood by her every single day. Day by day, she began to scrutinize him, doubt him, grow colder. He had no idea what was happening. He only knew that the girl who once held him tight now looked at him like a stranger. She said, "I need space." Then, "I'm not sure about my feelings anymore." And just like that, she left while he still tried to hold on, still believed that love could conquer every rumor, but she never came back. A few months later, she started dating another man, someone her friends said was more deserving of her, because he seemed flashier, more exciting. But life isn't a movie. A year later, that man left her. She broke down, lost her direction, and fell into a spiral of short, empty relationships. By 2010, I ran into her again in a small coffee shop. She was sitting alone, with the weary eyes of someone who had gone too far and no longer knew the way back. She was a single mother now, working temporary jobs, and she said something I will never forget. I wish I hadn't listened to them. He was the only one who truly loved me. That sentence stayed with me like a scar. She had everything: real love, stability, a loyal man, yet she traded it all just to feel right, just to gain validation from other unhappy women. She wasn't loyal to the man who loved her. She was loyal to her emotions, to jealousy, to doubt, to the voices of women who had never known peace. And that's the most painful truth: a woman can destroy the best thing in her life just to protect her temporary feelings. She doesn't betray because she wants to hurt someone. She betrays because her instincts whisper, "You're losing control, take it back, brother." When I saw her that day, I realized that a woman's loyalty doesn't live in love, it lives in emotion. When emotion shifts, loyalty dies. She might love you deeply in the morning, but if by night she feels empty, uncertain, or emotionally disconnected, she can walk away without looking back. And when that happens, every promise, every memory, every "I'll never leave you" becomes nothing but a faint echo in your mind. When I walked out of that cafe, the image of that girl stayed in my head for a long time. Not because I blamed her, but because I saw in her story a larger truth. A truth every man must face at least once before he truly wakes up. And that was the moment I understood a woman can love you, but she only loves what you bring to her, not who you are. It sounds like a cold knife, brother, but that's not evil. That's nature. A woman's love isn't built on a man's essence. It's built on the value he displays in the present, his emotions, his strength, his leadership, his sense of direction. As long as you're the source of energy, the fire that makes her feel alive, she'll love you with her whole heart. But when you lose that spark, when you stop being the pillar she looks up to, that love begins to dissolve like morning fog. Not because she wants to betray you, but because her survival instinct won't let her stay with weakness. She needs to feel led, inspired, and protected. And once that feeling disappears, loyalty dies with it. That is the red pill awakening, the moment you stop living in illusion, stop blaming, and begin to see the game for what it truly is. You realize that you don't need to demand loyalty from women because that goes against nature itself. Instead, you learn to maintain your value, your respect, and your control over your own emotions. When you no longer depend on her validation, you become strong in a way she can't break. And one day, you'll smile when someone asks, "Can women be loyal?" You'll answer calmly, "She can love, but her love lasts only as long as I remain the man worth loving." No more bitterness, no more hate, only awareness, the kind that makes you a real man. So don't expect her to be loyal. Make her respect you, because love may come and go, but once a woman respects you, she won't dare to lose you easily. You stop demanding loyalty and start demanding respect. That's how a mature man walks through this world calm, grounded, and no longer afraid of betrayal. When you awaken, when you understand that women love based on value and emotion, not essence, you'll go through a quiet phase, a stage many call bitterness, but in truth, it's mental recovery. Some men, after betrayal or awakening from illusion, fall into the black pill. They begin to hate women, despise love, close their hearts, and live in distrust. But brother, that's not the answer. Hatred doesn't make you stronger, it chains you to the past. What you need isn't resentment, but awareness. The red pill doesn't teach you to avoid women. It teaches you to understand the game before you play. When you know the rules, you're no longer afraid to lose. You know who should stay and who should leave. You no longer choose women based on emotion, but on alignment with your mission and values. You don't need to control her, you only need to control yourself. And when you can do that, no one can manipulate you with love, with tears, or with silence. You must learn to filter to stop living in fantasy. Not every beautiful woman is worthy. Not every "I love you" comes from real love. Don't be afraid to love, but be awake while you love. Watch her actions, not her words. Observe how she reacts when you're weak, when you're silent, when you set boundaries. That's when her true nature appears. Red pill. Awareness doesn't make you cold, it makes you emotionally disciplined. You know how to love without dependency, how to care without losing yourself. You understand risk but still choose to engage, because you know your value outweighs your fear of loss. That is true freedom when you can love, but are no longer controlled by love. In the end, remember, this awakening isn't about avoiding women. It's about understanding them, understanding yourself, and still choosing to live strong, focused, and purposeful. Because this world doesn't need more bitter men, it needs conscious men, grounded men, men no longer blinded by illusions of love. And when you finally understand that the red pill isn't about hating women, but about seeing reality clearly, you'll enter the final stage, awakening and action. This is no longer the time for complaint, no longer the time for self-pity. This is the time to stand up, take a deep breath, and tell yourself, I understand. Now it's time to own the game. You can't control her loyalty, but you can fully control your frame the way you hold your mindset, emotions, and boundaries in every situation. Brother, that is the true power of a man. When you master your frame, you're no longer shaken by sweet words, by tears, or by anyone's sudden outburst of anger. You don't react, you observe, and then choose your response. You no longer try to prove yourself right, because an awakened man doesn't need to win every argument, he only needs to never lose himself. And from here, remember 3 things. 1. You cannot control a woman's loyalty, but you can always control yourself. 2. You cannot change the nature of the game, but you can learn to play it better. 3. You cannot make her respect you with words, but you can make her afraid to lose you through action. Choose wisely, keep your mind sharp, and stay aware. This world no longer belongs to dreamers, it belongs to men who can see through the smile and recognize the truth behind it. Because in the end, the red pill isn't just about women. It's about you, about how you live, how you lead, and how you hold your frame no matter how many times life tries to shake it. You can't control her loyalty, but you can control your frame. Choose wisely, stay sharp, stay aware. This is seduction psychology, where I teach you to see the truth behind her smile.